Okay, and we're back. I see. So just starting second turn in Mordor. Okay. So Elrond. Hey everyone, Bob the Canadian here. This is our next game in the Lords of Middle-earth tournament. This is the quarterfinals now. Me against Lanxing. I'm pretty sure you pronounce it Lanxing anyway. Could be Lanxing, but I'm pretty sure it's Lanxing anyway. So we rolled to get to pick. I'm stuck with my tradition of doing free peoples first because, I don't know, that's just the way I do it now. Okay, so I did nothing too crazy anyway. I took Gandalf, Keeper of Narya, as a guide, and I separated Gimli to Erebor. So in my last video, as free peoples in a Lords of Middle-earth game, I put Pippin in the Shire instead as a means of defending Dew. And since then, I've noticed that a lot of higher elo players, you go with Gimli. So I got thinking about it, and I played against him a couple times, so it gave me a chance to see why Gimli instead of the Hobbit. Because the Hobbit, is obviously worth, 1 corruption instead of 2, so you're doing the Fellowship a favor by separating a Hobbit instead. And you're also more likely to get to play Fearfire Foes. You can't play Fearfire Foes over here, and the North is... what do you call it? Like, they have a bigger force pool to get out, and they're also... Like, you can muster out of Dale and abandon it to go hide in a stronghold, right? Whereas the dwarves with Gimli, they have a harder time protecting Woodland Realm, whereas the men of the North from Dale can protect Woodland Realm or Erebor. So the flip side to doing Gimli instead is that the dwarves are much less likely to be taken out of action quickly. When you put a Hobbit out, you're kind of painting a target for Shadow for turn 1, like especially if you don't put any other companions out. You're saying, I'm going to activate the North and start mustering out of here, so they think, okay, I will quick muster and bring the Stogoldur army and step on both these settlements. And haha, too bad, now you can't muster. And it's, depending on their role, not unreasonable for them to be able to knock out both these settlements in turn 1. But it's much more difficult for them to... after you put Gimli out, for them to go and besiege Erebor turn 1. They can, but they're going to be blowing a hole right through Dale. And they've committed to going away from Woodland Realm and then having to backtrack. So doing that first is fairly inefficient for Shadow. So if you are forced them to do that, then great. Problem solved already. Also, this way, you actually have the companion over here doing battle. Like with the Hobbit, he's all the way over in the Shire, and he's probably just going to sit there all game and do nothing. Whereas here, like Gimli is actually defending in Erebor, he's a captain of the West and a leadership. So that's pretty cool. Another reason is that if Dane Ironfoot shows up, now you've got 3 leadership. Like, that's pretty strong. That makes sudden strikes pretty good. And also the Balrog musters the dwarves and the elves down, right? So, especially if they bring in the Balrog, you only need to use Gimli's ability once to bring the dwarves 1 step away from war. So that's kind of making better use of something that the game changed about this. So that's why I'm trying Gimli. Honestly, I've seen people argue for literally every companion separation. So it's something I've put a lot of... I've spent a lot of time thinking about because literally every way is defensible. I think the one I like the least is separating Legolas, but every other one makes sense to me. And even, obviously, people have separated Legolas and I'm sure won the game, so that's doable. Okay, sorry. Side tangent over. This is what happens. So obviously he gets a token. He takes the muster one, which makes sense. He goes for 0 eyes and rolls a 1. So I was very sad to see that 1 eye go in because that was 1 eye away from me getting free movement on turn 1. You've probably noticed I'm a huge proponent of 0 eyes in the base game. In the Lord's game, I'm a much bigger proponent of at least 1 eye turn 1 because in the base game, you really don't want to hit them early because you want Gandalf to not show up as Gandalf the White. But in Lords, Gandalf, Keeper of Narya, is still pretty good. So killing him quicker isn't as advantageous for free peoples. And also, if you hit them earlier, you might reveal them earlier, and then you get the chief. So hitting them earlier, I allocate the 1 eye when I play Lords anyway. Okay, so let's see. I've got Scouts and an Ents card. Always happy to see Scouts turn 1. That makes the Dew line feel a lot stronger. So he's got Many Kings. Amazing turn 1 card. Like, it's not going to jumpstart your military because it takes a while for Southrons to get to war, but you can play it with a Palantir and you don't need them to be at war. So that's nice anyway. So he musters Sauron to war. That makes seems reasonable. I move the Fellowship, and I get hit on the 1 at 6, and it's a 3. So that's frustrating. You'd really 1 at 6, obviously, is like it's the least likely time for the Fellowship to ever get hit, assuming that there's any dice in the box. So that's very frustrating for me. Okay, so he starts moving armies along. I move again, and he rolls another 6, and I get hit again. So I'm really. I remember how frustrated I was here. It was not fun at all for me. The plus side, of course, is that I didn't get revealed with both of those hits. So getting hit twice, odds are that I should have been revealed. So that's one piece of luck for me anyway. I'd still rather, of course, have just not been hit. Okay, so he plays The Ring is Mine. I probably would have moved armies. But, I mean, getting red tiles in play is always nice, though. So I shuffle armies along. Obviously, I'm excited to use scouts here and want to get these guys closer to Helm's Deep. He brings in the Balrog. Especially since I might move a third time, and then if I got hit and revealed, that would make Moria extremely unappetizing. So I think bringing in the Balrog makes sense. So he continues moving armies. I move the Fellowship one more time, and now they get missed. The one where they hit at 4 is the one where he finally misses. So he brings Saruman in. So Saruman and Balrog is a good combo. Gets him to 9 dice for turn 2, which feels good, especially when I lost Gandalf and didn't get a keeper in, so I'm down to 4 dice. So that doesn't feel amazing. Really sad about not getting a Will of the West here, of course, too, because since Saruman's in play, I could get Gandalf the White now, but now I can't. So he activates the Balrog, obviously. Moves armies along. Oh, wow, I have 2 scouts now. I hadn't appreciated that. There's 3 in the deck, and I've got 2 on turn 2. That's quite something. Okay, so he attacks Osgiliath, and I scouts away because... Oh, why did I scouts away? Right, I remember I could have mustered Gondor down. So I could muster Gondor down with 1 step, then he'd attack, and Gondor would be at war, and I could muster an elite in Minas Tirith. But the reason I didn't want to do that is because then I wouldn't have a muster for bringing in a keeper. And I'd like to bring in a keeper die, ideally, for a couple of reasons. Number one, an extra die is nice, but also I might be getting revealed through Moria soon. So I would really like to have Galadriel's ability to cancel an eye, seeing how Strider is guide, and I don't want to lose Strider. So, yeah, there's Galadriel. It's nice when past me makes sense to present me. This game was a little while ago, too. Not as long ago as the Nevin games were, so I still at least kind of remember what happens. Okay, so he attacked Minas Tirith. Gondor's at war now. I move, and... Oh, yeah, I'm safe. That's nice. Okay. So he moves troops along a little bit. I move again, get hit, and it's an eye. Okay, right. I'm just hoping to not get revealed here. That's why I use Nenya there. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that I didn't just reveal through Moria, because that's an eye out of the way, and I'd rather save Galadriel for not getting hit by the Balrog. But then Smeagol shows up. So, okay, the plan worked out. I redrew and didn't get revealed. So, credit to Past Bob. He took his risk and it paid off. Okay, so I muster in Dol Amroth. He brings in the Black Captain. Okay. Makes sense. He got Gondor to war. Maybe you could have mustered the Southrons down another step and wait for me to get revealed, but the Fellowship is on 5 steps already, so how much use are you going to get out of the Chief? Anyway. So he allocates 1 eye, rolls 2 more. I roll 3 movement, which is good, but no Wills of the West, so that's meh. Okay, he plays Worn with Sorin Toiler. That's always a good card. I have a blue tile I'd rather not lose. I'd be fine with losing Challenge of the King or Ents, like especially with the damage the Fellowship's taken so far. I'm not planning on separating Strider this game. Also, since 1 eye is already out, it makes playing Challenge of the King less likely to have good value. Let's see, he's got Stormcrow, so he could hit the elves with Stormcrow. That'd be kind of cool. That can be really useful sometimes. Sometimes it's garbage, but sometimes it helps. I pass again. He musters the Southrons to war. I draw a card. Interesting. I remember when I played this thinking that this might not make sense. So I guess I'm just planning on not moving that much against 3 eyes. But I feel like you kind of just want to keep your foot on the gas here. I guess I'm thinking that his military isn't going that fast. Like he's moving to Gondor first, and it's already okayly defended, I guess. And obviously, like, Gimli's here to help protect the Dew line, and Dane's in hand. And I've got this guy in the way in scout, so I guess I'm thinking that my military can afford to wait a little bit. It doesn't really make sense to me, though. So I play Smeagol helps Nest Mass. Okay, so that makes reasonable sense to me anyway, because the plan is that I'm going to move twice. Moving 3 times against 3 eyes is asking for suicide a little bit. But getting Smeagol out there and in the hunt pool before Worn, Restore, and Toil can kill it makes sense to me. Or maybe I was hoping for another garbage card so I could move and not lose Elven Rope. But why wouldn't I just play Elven Rope and then move twice? That would make more sense to me. Or play Elven Rope and move 3 times. That would make even more sense. I move and I get hit, and it's an I. So, right, Galadriel's ring is already gone, so no need to think about that. So I take the 1 corruption, and I declare through Moria. I think that makes sense. I'm drawing for the Balrog tile, and it's a 3, so, yep, there goes Smeagol. He's gone efficiently, and then Moria, and then it's an I. So that's a really nice reveal through right there. I guess, I forgot to use Warm Restore to Other. I do that too. Pretty easy to forget. So then I think I end up hiding with the character die here. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, what was I going to do with that muster die? I could play Dane, or I could muster the elves to war, or I could muster the dwarves to war. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I probably should have hidden and then moved again. Or hidden and then played Elven Rope because I'm scared of... Oh, I see. Mustering Gondor up a bit. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, right. He has a sneaky Balrog. Right. I remember forgetting that he could do that in the game, too. Yeah, so with the Balrog walking out with this army, I was thinking threat towards Lorien, which he might still do. But also, that means that by moving character... using character dice to move, he can sit the Balrog on top of the Fellowship. And then if I declare away or get revealed away, then he gets to draw a tile. So I can kill him with a Will of the West, but of course... I don't have Gandalf the White yet, so I really want that Will of the West for Gandalf, right? Now he draws cards. Always feels bad drawing Corsairs after this army moves there, which is why personally I like to park that army in Umbar, but I know a lot of good players do move that army to West Horondor just for efficiency's sake. Okay, so I thought about it for a little bit, and I decided that I really do want Gandalf in because, it's a bummer that Galadriel's die is going away, but I really didn't want to risk losing it to Day Without Dawn. And obviously, why be on 4 dice when you could be on 5? So it is a bummer that I can't do anything about the Balrog this way, but I don't have any other dice to move the Fellowship right now anyway. And it's against 4 eyes, so I really want to move that much anyway? Okay, so I play Every Little Is a Gain, and I do it with an H. So I guess I'm planning on using that Palantir to play Elven Rope so that I can happily lose character cards and not be worried about losing anything too good. He musters up in Dol Guldur. He really musters up in Dol Guldur. I'm kind of... Okay, gates are closed. Always a good card, too. So he has... I would have been tempted if I were him to walk this army back and then play Corsairs, just because then I can't finish mustering. But I guess if he did, I have this H, so then I'd muster another elite that way anyway. So never mind, that's a good call. And lucky me, I just picked up Círdan this turn anyway, so that's amazing. Okay, so then he plays Black Captain to bring in a couple Nazgul, and he uses Corsairs there as a deadly strife. So I think I don't love that play just because even if this army walks... like the army in West Horondor walks over to Dol Amroth, I still really like having that card in hand because then it allows you to bring backup and attack in one shot. But, of course, as Deadly Strife is still really powerful. It's 3 hits, and I get 2. Man, 6 dice on 3s and only 2 hits. That's remarkable. That's a terrible job, Minas Tirith. He doesn't press. I don't really understand why. I would have been tempted to press with... probably Shadows as an onslaught to kill it because you have tons of bodies here to give up, but we're all different though. Okay, so I play an Ents card. I guess I'm just going to be full of cards here anyway, so I might as well use it and weaken Isengard a little bit. Right, yeah, now I play the Elven Rope. That's good. He does Minas Tirith again. Maybe he just enjoys card cycling too. That's the thing. Okay, so he gets no hits and I get 3. So okay, they improve a little bit. And now playing that onslaught is actually kind of risky because say he, takes 4 hits and they whiff, then I can sortie with this H and I might kill the Witch King. So I might have used it for like 2, maybe 3, and probably would have gone okay. But that's pretty bad luck for him that I did 3 hits back and he didn't land a single one on the combat roll. Right, and then I bring in Elrond because Galadriel's dies going away clearly. So yeah. Okay, so he brings his big stack of trolls towards Lorien. That is a good way to do Lorien. If you're going to go after Lorien, bringing a bunch of elites so you can just blow it up in one shot is the way to do it. Okay, so last turn I wasn't excited to play against 4 eyes, so this time I get to play against 5 eyes. The good news, anyway, is that it means the Balrog's die is going away this turn, so that's something. But I think, like, the plan that strikes me first, anyway, is since I have 3 character dice and I don't really want to move 3 times against 5 eyes, is that I'm probably going to bring Gandalf over and then play a character die to just blow up the Balrog, And he doesn't have a character die to run away from me with the Balrog anyway, even if he wanted to. So it's possible. No, there isn't a card that allows you to move the Balrog, is there? I guess there's that the Durin Balrog is come card, but that would feel like a huge waste. Like just playing it for the Durin's Bane against Lorien would feel like a much better use. And then all Palantir. So that's a little bit of a bummer that I don't have anything to muster up Dol Amroth more in case he runs for it, but he doesn't have many attacking dice this turn anyway. Okay, well, anyway, let's see what I do. First, I play File. Yeah, that's reasonable. Wow, that's crazy. It's turn 5, and I've already got 3 blue tiles out there. That's pretty bananas. Okay, so he musters a Nazgul and an Orc. I move Gandalf, and there are no other companions to move. Like, I could move Gimli, but I kind of want him there for mustering down the dwarves. Okay, so he plays Shelob. There's a red tile out there, too. So I use the character die, and I kill the Balrog. I don't remember if I complained about this before, but I think it's pretty unthematic that Gandalf can just go and kill the Balrog by himself and be fine. Like, there's no element of risk to it. There's no chance that Gandalf dies. Like, I agree that it would be kind of busted if there was a chance, because Gandalf is way more valuable than the Balrog in this game. But it just doesn't feel good that Gandalf can just very confidently hunt down the Balrog and just assassinate him. When in the books, like, he was not excited about that fight. He did not go seeking that fight. He kind of got stuck in it, and it ended in a draw where they both died, pretty much. Like, Gandalf killed him, but Gandalf was so exhausted that, if the powers that be hadn't intervened, he would have just laid there and died. Anyway, Minas Tirith, Great Host. That's a fantastic card for this situation. He rolls no hits. I roll 1. He doesn't press again. That's interesting. I'm not sure why he isn't pressing. I move the Fellowship, and I do get hit, which is what you'd expect. 0 reveal, which, like, you're sad to see it leave the hunt pool, but while Strider is Guide is the right time to get hit by it anyway, because I could just hide again for free. He attacks Minas Tirith, plays Swarm of Bats. That makes sense. I obviously am not playing any of these cards. I could play Sudden Strike here, but I like keeping a meat shield of character cards. Like, what if I draw Mithril Coat and Sting, and I want to try to hang on to it? It's nice having some character cards I don't like as much to try to protect it. So now he rolls all the hits. There you go. And I get 1 back. So ends Minas Tirith. Hide the Fellowship. He musters more Nazgul. Right, he's got Shadow of Dol Guldur, so that's why he's mustering in Nazgul and Dol Guldur. That's pretty handy. So I thought for a long time about what to do here before I draw a card. Now, I'm interested that I drew a strategy card. Why did I draw a strategy card? Oh, I think I was hoping for Power 2 Great, just because that would mess with him. I guess that's what I was doing anyway. I'm a little surprised I didn't muster the dwarves down, because, like, it doesn't look like he's going for that much, but he did play many kings here, so the odds that this army is going to make a run for at least Dale, maybe Woodland Realm, seems pretty good to me. So getting the dwarves to war and mustered up would seem like a good choice to me. But yeah, Power 2 Great would obviously be amazing here. Getting to muster the elves down and say, haha, you can't get here, would be great, because when he attacks, I'm only going to be able to muster up the elves once, because they'll be at war from him attacking. So unless I get a whole bunch of musters and manage to preemptively muster up, then Lorien won't be as strong as it could be. So let's see. He throws out the fighting Urukai, which seems reasonable because this army's a little bit weakened and Rohan's fairly ready to defend itself. Yeah, that's reasonable. And I chuck Paths of the Woses. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, so he rolls 3 more eyes, so just lots of eyes for the Fellowship to try to move against. But I figure I might as well move before he puts an Nazgul on me or something. And I get hit 3 times. Very happy to not see an eye anyway. I take a random. Yeah, which makes sense, I guess. He hits me with Warm Restore and Toil. And he gets. There's Another Way. So I'm very happy to lose that one instead of There's Another Way. Anyway. Like, it's unlikely I'm going to get down to Golem without losing it, but you can hope, Where's he attack? Sorry, I missed it. Lasarnak from the Witch King. Okay. It's interesting that he's just cycling Palantir. I would hold on to that one personally. That can be a really powerful card. But anyway, cycling is good, though. You forget to draw. Oh, you forgot to draw. Whoopsie. Okay, so I play King Brand. Yeah, don't mess with King Brand. We don't want a third sneezing of King Brand. That's a bad idea right there. Okay, so he plays this one to allow armies to move. That is a very efficient usage. Yeah, like getting to put these armies together for going to get Gondor, putting this army together for Lorien, and this army together for Dew. That's a very good use of that card. Would feel even better to play with the Palantir, but it's still good. Yeah, and I'm not. I guess I feel like my military is just so good that I don't need to rush. And I'd rather just get the healing and not lose it to one with Sauron Toil. I find that interesting. Anyway. So now he attacks Pelargir from Witch King. That makes sense. He gets 1 hit. I get 2. So, good job, guys, in Pelargir. Right. I remember thinking about this and deciding that, like, I have an advantageous position in hand anyway. So it's decent odds that at least one of these guys is going to survive and make it to Dol Amroth. And because I have Círdan's ships coming down the line, I can make the stronghold a real pain in the butt for him. So that's why I muster 2 leadership, hoping that these guys will be able to retreat and bring that last leadership to Dol Amroth. He attacks Lamden and just rolls 3 6s anyway into my advantageous position. So I was quite sad about that. And they only got 1 hit back, so that leadership was just useless there. But I muster an elite in Dol Amroth, of course, because I want this to be as difficult for him as possible. He attacks Dol Amroth first, which I think makes sense. And I muster the elves to war now because that helps with Lorien and that helps with enabling Círdan's ships. Rangers of the North, all very happy to see that card. That's an amazing card. Horde from the East, that's also a good card. Kill. Yeah. Okay. Fellowship declares. Normally, you don't get to keep declaring like this because normally there's a chief on your back, but we have the Black Captain, so they can just merely declare. So I think okay, right. I use the will to take away gates are closed because the plan this turn is that you want to use Elrond's ring to move last. So you wait until you're at even dice, and then you use it so that you win the tempo and you're going last on the turn. Right. That's why I use the Will of the West to get rid of that, because I'm going to be using this character die a second time anyway. Okay. Right. So he is moving Nazgul. He's doing it with the character die. Right. I remember this. So he's moving Nazgul because... let's see, what does he have character card-wise? Interesting that I feel like you would want to try to blow up Dol Amroth and then pivot with Ring Wraiths or Abroad and maybe put Nazgul on them on their way. But I guess if you feel like it's not going too well for you, then switching to Corruption's a reasonable choice anyway. Okay, so I muster an Elite and Lorien. I think that's reasonable. And I play... Right, then he moves towards the Dew line, and I play Rangers of the North, and they get 3 hits. Holy moly! That's not cool, guys. That's brutal. Ouch. Okay. Yeah, so then he plays Horde from the East to get back up. Nope, he thinks about it, and he puts an Oliphant in instead. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, it's nice having Oliphants anyway if you're gonna you call it. Yeah, like if you're gonna muster and bring in 3 units to refresh this army up to 10, it definitely feels better having them being Oliphants. Mustering in with an H though doesn't feel great, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Okay, right. So I moved the Fellowship, and then I brought Elrond's die back. So yeah, the tempo is officially changed. He hits me with Orc Patrol. I take a random and it's Strider. Yeah, so that hurts a lot. Like 1 in 4, but at the same time, that is 1 in 4. Like was less likely to happen than to happen. So, oh well, you lose him sometime, right? Okay, and I lost Challenge of the King. Oh, that's fitting. The Challenge of the King went out with Strider. That's very fitting. I move again because I'm not revealed, so if he has Cruel Weather, he can Cruel Weather me anyway. And at least now, if I move, I might get revealed, and then there's 0 odds of Cruel Weather. And if he does have Cruel Weather, then I'm going to have to use a ring to move again anyway. So, but I get very much hit. Oh, no, I don't, because I used Elrond's ring to move the second time. So that's almost might be a downside of this, actually, that I almost would have rather gotten hit and revealed there. Yep, the Hunt Pool is very revealing for me. So now I'm kind of living in fear of ring wraiths. Not of ring wraiths, sorry, of Cruel Weather. But right, if he does hit me with Cruel Weather, I'm moving last, so I could spend the last ring to get in this turn. Going into Mordor on no rings, though, feels terrible. Okay, so he's bringing back up to Dol Amroth into the Dew Line. I mustered the dwarves down. He attacks the Dol Amroth. Right, I remember being extremely relieved that he's spending his last time not harassing the Fellowship, because they're in a very touchy spot there. Okay, so 4 hits from his Deadly Strife on Dol Amroth, though. That helps a lot. And only 3 back. So that's slightly poor luck for me anyway. I was also very happy to see him stop there. If he'd pressed, well, it would have been unlikely for him to blow up Dol Amroth in 1 siege, but he got a perfect number of hits for me to play Círdan's efficiently anyway. Like, the Stronghold is still probably cooked because of all the reinforcement he has from the, the Mumakil and the South runs here. But it still feels good anyway. Okay, so I pick up Mithril Coat and saying, wow, that is an amazing draw. That is exactly what you want coming into Mordor. Downside, of course, is Worn with Sauron Toil is still out there, and I do still have Legolas to lose here. So that is less fun. I declare into Mordor, of course. And he rolls a ton of ice. So that doesn't feel good. And watch me make a mistake. So I move right away because I have Will of the West and I'm scared of a day without dawn. Oh, which he has now. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that fear is at least valid. Because looking at the Hunt Pool, there's 3 blue tiles and there's all these normal tiles in there. So there's only 5 tiles that I really don't want to see. I'm fine with seeing all of these. And my thinking was that if I play Mithril Coat, then I for sure lose it after I lose Legolas. And I would rather lose Legolas and take the 50-50, I guess. I also just wanted to move quick before I lost this to Day Without Dawn / before he puts another red tile in. So I guess that's not insane thinking anyway. But of course I do hit an eye. So there go all the companions to soak up the damage there. So it's nice having Gollum as guide. But of course now We Shall Get It is usable, so that's scary. And he remembers Worn with Sauron Toil, and it takes away Mithril Coat and Sting. So now I'm really kicking myself like, man, I should have just played Mithril Coat and Sting first. Because then I could have at least dodged that eye and had a 1 tile better start to Mordor anyway. Or at least I probably would. You never know. Maybe I would have drawn the red eye instead and it'd be even worse, but probably not anyway. So he plays Foul Thing, which I think makes a lot of sense here because the Fellowship's already revealed. So that means that tiles exactly like this one, I can't reveal to... What do you call them? I can't reveal to negate any damage. So... Yeah, and I just checked, following the rules, because he could use We Shall Get It and hope for something worse, but that's a pretty good result. So it would have been a little bit silly to redraw on that one. So I draw a character card here because I'm hoping for, Bilbo's Song, Athelas, the last blue tile, because 2 corruption, 1 step into Mordor and down to Gollum isn't terrible, but it's not really safe either, though. You could use some help. It's going to be close anyway. It's going to come down to luck. Okay, so he uses a ring to bring in the mouth, which I think makes sense. I just like getting that extra die in there means you might roll more eyes to corrupt me. You might, speed up your corruption and what have you. So he pivots his Nazgul here to get ready to smack down. I'm a little surprised that he didn't carry on against Dol Amroth because, Círdan's ship has already showed up. Like, there's only Imrahil out there to make it stronger. Okay, I guess that's a reason to wait, but it still feels inefficient to not finish it first before you move your Nazgul. I don't know. Life's full of tough choices. Right, so he's asking about whether this arrangement would recruit 5 regulars. And I hadn't actually looked that closely at the wording, but it's different from Dreadful Spells. Dreadful Spells, it's the number of Nazgul, so the Black Captain only counts for 1 for, rolling the dice to attack with Dreadful Spells. But Shadow of Dol Guldur different. Shadow of Dol Guldur is different. It's the Nazgul leadership. So with the Black Captain and 3 other Nazgul, you still get to recruit 5 orcs. So, he's just clarifying because that doesn't make a ton of difference to what I'm about to do here anyway. So, okay, so then he plays Shadow of Dol Guldur and sends that army off towards the Dew line too. Then I play Book of Mizarble. Right. This choice. So the reason Book of Mizarble, like the dwarves were only 1 step away from war, but it brings them to war and it brings Gandalf closer. And since we proved the Swifter, that means that Gandalf can come and sneak his way in under the bus here if I need him to. He attacks Old Forest Road. Interesting. When did I use the other scouts? I don't remember. I used 1 in Osgiliath. I guess I must have thrown out the other one at some point. Oh, well. Okay, so he cycles Day Without Dawn. Another choice I find interesting, but that's how it goes. So the guy in Old Forest Road gets a hit back on his way down anyway, so that helps. And then I muster an elite into Woodland Realm. Maybe instead of Book of Mizarble, maybe I should have just mustered 2 elves in Woodland Realm. That might have made more sense. Oh well, let's see how it goes. Right, I get to go at the start of this turn anyway. And right, there aren't that many elves left. There's just these regulars to put out. As Círdan's ship happened, and I mustered 1 in Lorien. Yeah. I will be right back. Very helpfully also rolls an eye, just classic keeper stuff, So I muster a regular Nereborn and a regular Woodland Realm because naturally I want to top up Woodland Realm in case this army puts them under siege. Like this army by itself is not strong enough to take out Woodland Realm, but this army is strong enough. This will at least delay them a bit. I don't think there's anything else much I'm planning on doing with this H. So yeah. Okay, so he thinking. Wait, what is he doing? Is he attacking? Moved armies back and forth a little bit. Now we're both playing 1. What is he doing? What? Oh, he did say he's attacking Dale there. Okay, great. Okay, so very happy to play advantageous position into Mumakil. Okay, so he gets a total of 1 hit, and I get 3 back. My goodness, King Brand is just an absolute savage in my games. Am I really going to name a 3rd video about sneezing at King Brand? I don't know. That might be funny. It might just be stupid, though. Okay, so he conquers Dale, and the remainder of the army retreats into Woodland Realm. My goodness, what a buff Woodland Realm that is. That is 4-3-3, and I could put Gandalf or Gimli in there. So I guess I also spent the H mustering like that, because now if he puts Erebor under siege, I can use this Palantir to play Dane, and then that's also at full strength, so that's feeling pretty good. Okay, so I move the Fellowship, and it's another eye. So that, that doesn't feel good. Like, what were the odds of that? There was only 3 eyes in there, including the red eye. That's just... Yeah, there's 4 tiles that I really didn't want, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I really wanted. So I guess it's not crazy unlikely, but it sure doesn't feel good anyway. Okay, so he gets his army together, and he bolsters his army out sitting on Woodland Realm. Hide the Fellowship. He attacks Woodland Realm with the Mouth ability. Right, I thought about sticking around for a field battle, but it just seemed like a poor choice. Because if he did more than 2 hits, then I'm worse off. Right, and I was thinking, like, with Gandalf there, then I'm in amazing shape. Like that he shouldn't be able to take it that easily. I did not think that through very well. Because then he plays dreadful spells and gets 3 hits. That hurts so much. I'm just sitting in my regret here. So Gandalf shines, and I play Sudden Strike. So he cancels Gandalf. I still get my pre at 3 at 5, but they all miss. And then he just rolls 3 sixes because no big deal, whatever. I do get 4 hits back, so that helps, I guess. Like, it makes it less likely that army will be able to take Erebor, but it still feels bad because I just threw Gandalf under a bus and he immediately dropped dead. Very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah, I think that was a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have put Gandalf in there yet. I should have waited for that army to finish Woodland Realm, and then I should have put him in Erebor, but then I guess then maybe he's just never going to be helpful. Or maybe I could have waited and put him in Lorien. I don't know. Tough choices. So he is... He used a ring? He used a ring. Yeah, he used a ring. Okay. Move leadership around. So he does wisely leave some leadership there so that Gimli can't come and make trouble as easily. So I draw a card, and it's You Know the Way There, which isn't great because obviously Smeagol has already come and gone. And I don't have any hobbits on the board either, so it's just useless. Okay. So 3 rings. That's a nice card. That could help. And... Oh, right. I remember thinking, how it's kind of helpful that Gandalf died anyway, because at least Elrond's die is sticking around. But no, that is absolutely not helpful. He just rolled an eye again because he hates me. Just screw you, Elrond. And it's an eye again. There's only 2 eyes in there now. It's just 3 eyes in a row. Just savage stuff. Just absolutely brutal. Like, Elrond has caused me 2 corruption now. 2. He's done nothing. Just... to be fair, I get, like, his using his bring ability helped me moving outside. So I guess that's some value I've got from Elrond, but I'm very much regretting his existence at this moment. Like I'm his dad or something. I just really wish he'd never been born. Okay, so he plays a corrupting card. That makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty close to dead now, and I'm not happy at all about it. And I have nothing in hand to help. Axe and Bow and Horn of Gondor when I'm down to Gollum is just super duper great. I could play 3 rings to try to get Galadriel's die back, but she's about to die anyway. So, I mean, if I'd known I was going to hit the, 3 eyes out of, another eye out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, would have been the 2 out of 11 eye, then maybe I should have played 3 rings first to try to get it back and then move. But what are you going to do? Okay, so he plays Grond to hopefully finish off Dol Amroth. And he plays Onslaught first. He gets no hits, I get 3, so that's a pretty lucky start. And then I play Confusion, he plays Desperate Battle. So he rolls 1-1, so that's nice. Then it's a reasonable Confusion. So lots of death. Third roll, he gets 2 hits, I get 2 hits. Yeah, that's pretty even Stevens. He thinks for a bit and then musters an Oliphant because he needs to try to... they're going to come and hopefully fight Gimli for a Dale, I think is the plan. Okay, so he brings in some reinforcements. I think, right, I remember we talked about this after the game. Right, I'll share what he thinks he should have done here instead after at the end of the turn anyway, because it'll be obvious by then. Okay, so he's finishing off Dol Amroth. No cards are played. He rolls an average amount of hits. There we go. I hide the Fellowship. He shuffles Nazgul around. So he needs to finish off Galadriel in 1 die, and he's got the Freemouth, and he's got 5 elites. So that's quite doable. So instead of moving again, and I'd kill myself on the last eye, undoubtedly, I have to attack Dale. And if instead of walking these Oliphants from North Rune to the Vale, if he'd moved like all but 1 to Dale, then he would have that whole army there to defend against Gimli instead of just that 1 guy. So that's That's the mistake he made anyway. So anyway, I have these mighty attacks in hand anyway. They're perfect for assassinating one guy hiding in city. So I play that. He gets a hit back, and that feels bad. I debated leaving a guy behind, but because the dwarves are at war, I'll have plenty of time to muster anyway, and I can play Dane. So I think I'd rather have these guys here just to make it more likely that I can win a fight. So that's my thought anyway. Okay, so he's going after Lorien. I play Mighty Attack here just because, I don't know, I don't have anything else to play. Might as well. And he's got We Come to Kill. He rolls 2 hits. I roll 1. Right, but 2 because I'm canceling Galadriel's leadership to get 1 hit. And then he rolls 2 hits from the We Come to Kill. So it's a pretty convincing start from the bad guys here. He presses for free with the mouth and has another We Come to Kill. Right, I forgot to look at his cards, but that's really nice usage of elites. Like all those mustering by hands, like you're getting 10 dice at 5 out of it. That's pretty strong. And he rolls just 3 6s automatically, and I get 3 hits back, but it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, gets another 3 hits from his We Come to Kill. So very happy that I took Dale because I would have lost without it. So we'll see how the last one goes. Ooh, so he picks up candles. That's pretty huge. And he rolls a ton of eyes. Interesting. So I remember thinking about what I ought to do here for a little bit anyway. Because I need to take 2 steps. I need to either hang on point-wise again this turn, or I need to dunk this turn. And dunking, I need to move twice. I have 3 movement in a ring. So movement-wise, I'm probably okay. It's the not dying part that's interesting, because that 3 will kill me, that eye will kill me, Shelob will probably kill me. I would technically survive against... There's like 6 tiles in here that would all do 0 damage to me. So that's nice. And these would obviously heal me a little bit. And I can survive this one and hope to get lucky on the last one. So there's a reasonable shot at winning here. And I have Athelas to play. So I guess I'm drawing a card first. Right, and it's Gwai here. So that's not super useful. So he draws a character card as well, probably hoping for... there's 2 more red tiles out there that he could play. Those would help for sure. So now I play Athelas, like just in case I run into like that 3 or like a Shelob 3 so that I survive. But I whiff and I don't get any healing, so that doesn't feel great. And he draws another tile, and it's the red 3. I move, and it's Smeagol helps Nestmaster. So, right, but he had We Shall Get It. So he gets to take away that blue and give me the 1 instead. So since I have 2 movement, of course, I reveal the heal from it, make it slightly more likely. Well, I guess that's not an of course. There's only 1 tile where that makes the corruption difference, but of course I don't know what he's going to do in the meantime. But now he attacks me with candles, which makes sense. Like if you just roll 2 6s and win the game, but he doesn't roll any 6s. So yeah, that's a very scary moment. Because also if he did 1 damage, that would also make a difference because that 2 reveal is lethal again now. I hide, and he puts in the last red tile, of course. So I move again, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles kill me, and 6 are win. So 60% odds of winning, which is not great, but if I don't, then this army is going to attack Dale and probably win. Because Gimli is not a captain of the West out in Dale. He's only a captain of the West if the defending army is in a dwarf region, I think. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes anyway. So just 3 dice against 5. He's got 2 hit points on me and leadership on me. I would probably lose. I have a couple of okay cards. But yeah, just the 60% odds of winning is much better. And it's the red 3, so I lose. A frustrating end. But yeah, I mean, I got lucky that he didn't roll more attacks. If he'd have rolled even 1 more attack last turn, then he would have had, that last die to step on Dale and take it back. So, a pretty close game. I think reasonably well played on both our parts. Like a couple mistakes for sure, but yeah. So let's look at statistics. Plus 5 on 6s, plus 5 on 5s for him, so that hurts. But also plus 8 on eyes for him, so... that probably explains why we're on turn 11. Plus 5 on movement for me, minus 2 on wills. Plus 6 overall on hits for me, so that's something. Them's the game. Thanks for watching. Toodles.